Read in the book of Lamentations, chapter 4 in the King James Version. How is the gold become dim? How is the most fine gold changed? The stones of the sanctuary are poured out in the top of every street. The precious sons of Zion, comparable to fine gold. How are they esteemed as earthen pitchers, the work of the hands of the potter? Even the sea monsters draw out the breasts. They give suck to their young ones. The daughter of my people has become cruel, like the ostriches in the wilderness. The tongue of the sucking child cleaveth to the roof of his mouth for thirst. The young children ask bread, and no man breaketh it unto them. They that did feed delicately are desolate in the streets. They that were brought up in scarlet embrace dunghills. For the punishment of the iniquity of the daughter of my people is greater than the punishment of the sin of Sodom, that was overthrown as in a moment, and no hand stayed on her. Her Nazarites were purer than snow. They were whiter than milk. They were more ruddy in body than rubies. Their polishing was of sapphire. Their visage is blacker than a coal. They are not known in the streets. Their skin cleaveth to their bones. It is withered. It is become like a stick. They that be slain with the sword are better than they that be slain with hunger. For these pine away, stricken through for want of the fruits of the field. The hands of the pitiful women have sodden their own children. They were their meat in the destruction of the daughter of my people. The Lord hath accomplished his fury. He hath poured out his fierce anger, and hath kindled a fire in Zion, and it hath devoured the foundations thereof. The kings of the earth and all the inhabitants of the world would not have believed that the adversary and the enemy should have entered into the gates of Jerusalem. For the sins of her prophets and the iniquities of her priests that have shed the blood of the just in the midst of her. They have wandered as blind men in the streets. They have polluted themselves with blood, so that men could not touch their garments. They cried unto them, Depart ye, it is unclean. Depart, depart, touch not. When they fled away and wandered, they said among the heathen, They shall no more sojourn there. The anger of the Lord hath divided them. He will no more regard them. They respect not the persons of the priests. They favor not the elders. As for us, our eyes as yet failed for our vain help. In our watching, we have watched for a nation that could not save us. They hunt our steps, that we cannot go in our streets. Our end is near. Our days are fulfilled, for our end is come. Our persecutors are swifter than the eagles of the heaven. They pursued us upon the mountains. They laid wait for us in the wilderness. The breath of our nostrils, the anointed of the Lord, was taken in their pits, of whom we said, Under his shadow we shall live among the heathen. Rejoice and be glad, O daughter of Edom, that dwellest in the land of Uz. The cup also shall pass through unto thee. Thou shalt be drunken, and shalt make thyself naked. The punishment of thine iniquity is accomplished, O daughter of Zion. He will no more carry thee away into captivity. He will visit thine iniquity, O daughter of Edom. He will discover thy sins. Okay. There was a lot here. Sermon upon sermon. There's a couple of different points in here. The first one is just within the first two verses. There's a lot here. How is the gold become dim? How is the most fine gold changed? The stones of the sanctuary are poured out in the top of every street. Israel was the fine gold. The people were precious. And bringing past to present, we are precious in his sight. But the people changed. So they believe somewhere And I want you to hear this. I want you to hear this because I want you to hear yourselves, particularly if you believe in the Lord. The people changed. The people came and they believed and worshiped the Lord. But then over in time, they started to believe that the things that they did or the things that they needed to do or the things that their thoughts and feelings controlled was what gave them those blessings, was what gave them the fruits of the labor, what gave them the milk and the honey. They believed that somehow that they were the ones that were also doing it. Therefore, they needed to change. They needed to somehow change. They needed to add categories. They needed to add levels as to what the Lord was already giving them. He already gave them the commandments. He already gave the Levitical priests the word to preach to the people. But they believed that they needed to change in order to continue on and obtain those blessings that they needed to change. And they changed. They changed. How has the gold become dim? How is the most fine gold changed? If we are renewed through Christ and we are reborn again, why is it that we've changed? If Christ accepted us then, what makes us believe that he won't accept us because we have to change and we have to set new standards? That we have to do it? When we have to do it, it's not of the Lord. The stones of the sanctuary are poured out in the top of every street. The precious sons of Zion, comparable to fine gold, how are they esteemed as earthen pitchers, the work of the hands of the potter? The Lord formed us. The Lord created each and every one of us. So how is it that when you first believed, the Lord accepted you then, but now that you know more, that you believe that you have to change? Where's that change and idea of change coming from? The Lord molds us. We don't break ourselves. We don't create new handles. We don't create new levels. We don't push ourselves up to be a taller vase. For the Lord, it is of the Lord that molds us. Think of how humble you were and maybe renew some of that humbleness of your first love. Before we go on though, what kind of thoughts or feelings come to your mind when we read over this? How does it make you feel and what does it make you think?